You know, it's really interesting to be a speaker and to think about what is it that I can speak into your lives and tell you a story, right? And it just so happens that my niece gave me the perfect story, which I'll get to in a minute. But before I do, again, remember this isn't your normal Everyday Women's Conference. So we are going to do a couple little activities. First one we're going to do is at each table, I want you to go around the table and introduce yourselves, but I want you to use the following phrase. If you two want to get with another table, or you could be just the two, that's fine. But, all right, we're going to start on this side of the room. So, like, Jennifer's going to start, Jean's going to start, Aeolian, is that close? Okay. And is this Constance? Yep, so you're right. And then just go around the table. And you're going to introduce yourself with this phrase. Hi, my name is, and I am most proud of. All right? So, go. Let's take a minute and go around the table.
I'm Erin, and the first one to go, my interest in several things and pulling it together. So I'm going to first.
That makes sense. Thank
I was waiting for you to finish with her. No, I'm right here.
Did you say hello, my name is?
Vegetables and chicken and like a rice and chicken or something.
Marlo from Miranda, and then Ellie. Miranda is a mini-me. Miranda and I are just, everything about her is me. Ellie is a completely different animal. Ellie and I we are not the same. But because I am world's greatest aunt, I want to spend good quality time with both of them. Now, when Ellie was 4 years old, I had just moved to Charleston. And, it kind of broke my heart a little bit to move to Charleston because I was moving away from them. But I knew that there were, the girls were in school and started to do activities. I wasn't going to see them all that much anyway. So I moved to Charleston, and my sister and brother-in-law said, you know what, the girls miss you. We're going to come down to Charleston. Great, come on down. And so I said I would spend a day with Miranda and a day with Ellie, because I am the world's greatest aunt. So, Miranda and I, we are so in sync with everything we do. I knew exactly what she would want to do, right? Because everything I liked, she liked. It was great. Ellie, it was like, I don't know what Ellie's going to be into. I just really didn't know. So we did a bunch of different things. Like we went to, what do you want to do? I don't know. So we went to Waterfront Park over in Mount Pleasant, and she played on the playground. We threw a ball around. We walked the pier, and suddenly she goes, I want to go for a walk. And if you remember, we're over there at Waterfront Park, and I said, let's do the Ravenel Bridge, and we'll go up on top and we'll look for dolphins. Yay! All right, so we're trudged up, and she's been she hasn't been real chatty, but she's been very kind of friendly and very nice, and I just feel like I don't really know who she's becoming And so we're trudging up the Ravenel Bridge, and she's getting quiet, and she's getting more and more quiet. And I'm pointing out things, I'm like, oh, there's Charleston, oh, look at that boat, look at, different things. And then I go, and her face just wasn't, I knew that there was something. And I go, what's going on? She just completely broke my heart. And she said, I was just thinking about I have such a bad life. Okay. I almost lost my badge as world's greatest aunt right up there. Because I almost said, what are you talking about? You don't have a bad life. Look, you got this great house, you got these great family, you got this, you got that. I almost did that. All right? My first instinct was to dismiss that. But then I said, oh, there's something here. What is this? Why in the world would a 4-year-old say, I have a bad life? And she was dead serious. She was so sincere. It was like, So, instead of doing the adult, don't worry about it kind of thing, I turned into interrogator Trina, pulled out one of the magic 5-word phrase that I learned in law school. Now, the magic 5-word phrase is what attorneys use to really get people to open up. It is the magic 5-word phrase that it builds rapport. It is the magic 5-word phrase that gets people to open themselves up. It is the magic 5-word phrase that attorneys use when you're on the stand or when you're in a client interview and you feel someone is holding back on you. You pull out the magic 5-word phrase. And you know what that 5-word phrase is? Tell me more about that. And I'm telling you, if you are in any relationship at all, you should be saying, tell me more about that daily. Okay? Because it is one of those phrases that the person who hears it understands that you've heard them. They will, if you give them the opportunity to tell you more about that, they will. Okay? So, I said, Ellie, a bad life, tell me more about that. Tell me why you have a bad life. So, here's her bad life. She's got hair issues. She's got friend issues. She's got body issues. She's not good enough. She is not good enough. She's not grown up yet. Right? Her summary in her world is, I'm not very good. Her hair. Now, she unfortunately got hair like from my mom's side of the family, her sister. And so when the hair's short, it kind of curls up a little bit. And Ellie is a very girly girl. She loves pink. She loves glitter. She loves dresses. She's always loved dolls. Her mom was getting sick of the kind of wavy, whatever hair, and took her and got her hair cut. She went to school with her new haircut, and someone said, you look like a boy. Crushed her. Crushed. So ever since that, she has been obsessed with her hair, right? So the morning that, of our day, she had gotten up early, and she had gone and she's at my condo in Mount Pleasant. New, unfamiliar place. She went into the bathroom, and, she couldn't find, like, the brushes and things that she wanted in the suitcase, because maybe they were in Dad's or, wherever they were. But she went in, and she did the best she could to work on her hair. And that's what she did in the morning before the rest of us were even awake. When she woke up, she went in the bathroom by herself and played around with her hair, wanting to be cute, because she was going to spend the day with Aunt Trina, so she wanted to be cute. Her mom got up an hour later and said, what have you done to your hair? And redid everything, crushed her. Oh my gosh. she went on 20 minutes about telling me how upset she was that her mom messed with her hair that morning and that she had tried so hard and that she's apparently not good enough. She apparently doesn't know how to do her hair. She's just not good. So, that's the kind of thing. It's like, oh my gosh, no one did anything. No one said anything to her specifically. It was what she was feeling and what she felt. Friend issues. Oh my gosh, her friend Hannah. Oh my goodness. Regular playground drama at daycare, or preschool. Hannah told her she wasn't a good friend because she actually sat down beside this other person that Hannah doesn't like. And because Ellie, with her heart, sat by another little kid, her best friend told her, "You're not a good friend." It was weighing on her. She has been playing that phrase, "I am not a good friend, I am not a good friend, I am not a good friend, I am not a..." That had happened 6-7 months before I was talking to her, and that cut her to the core, and she was replaying it over and over and over in her head. I am not a good friend. Body issues. Okay, she is 4, right? But she was, again, she's got Miranda. So Miranda is 6 years older, okay? Miranda can do things. Miranda takes dance classes. Ellie tried to take dance classes and she just couldn't quite get it. She tried gymnastics. She just couldn't. She's just not that, But I let her tell me more about it, and she just went crazy about her body issue. And she's a 4. Her arms aren't very strong. She can't kick very high. She drops things a lot. She just went on and on and on. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. Over and over and over. She would tell me story after story, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And I'm just, well, tell me more. Just tell me more. Honestly, this girl went on for more than an hour just telling me everything bad in her life. Why she has a bad life. And it was really hard to kind of just let her go, right? But I did. I just let her put it out on the table. Just tell me everything that's bad in your life. And she went on and on. And then kind of we got to the end and she kind of really couldn't come up with anything else. Tell me more. And she's like, I don't know if I can tell you anymore. It's like, finally, we got to the end. Phew, look at this list. And I was like going, okay, so tell me how we're going to turn this around, and I don't want you to have a bad life. I said, all the things that you say are a bad life are really coming from should. She was so busy comparing herself to everyone else. And she was so stuck in what she should do. And we really had to break some of that down. Honestly, we were up on that Rapido Bridge for almost 3 hours. Really kind of going, okay, why is it that you think, she was pointing out the day before on their drive down from Ohio to Charleston, they had stopped at a rest area. And she thought she was going to help. Right, so she went to the car to get drinks, to bring over because they're doing a little picnic kind of thing, and she spilled the drink, and her interpretation of that was, I'm clumsy, I'm bad. It was just like, that's a mistake, that happens. But she has grown up so much internalizing what she should do. She should be able to carry the drinks from the car to the picnic table without dropping. She should be able to brush her own hair and make it look cute. She should be able to dance and look, good. She should be able to dance like other people, and she should be able to, she should. And it was like, honey, no one, and, I don't know exactly what I said to her, but I did say, you know what, you are the only Ellie, and I love you completely. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do that would ever make me stop loving you, and there's nothing that you could ever do to make Grandma and Grandpa stop stop loving you. There's absolutely nothing you could ever do, ever, that would make us think that you aren't special. And honestly, now I think my sister and brother-in-law, have said things, but I don't know that anyone had been on her level and been direct after that after just letting her go. And our relationship changed that day. It really changed. She now, when she has good news, when she gets home, the first thing she does is, can I call Aunt Trina? She writes stories, and I'm the main character in just about all of her stories. It's one of those things that is just so sweet. But she just really, it was a life-changing day. But she got so caught up in those shoulds and those comparisons. But, all right, so I've got 2 questions for you, all right? And before I do this, would everyone want to grab a couple of the index cards? You guys can come on in. There's seats up here. Come on in. Yeah, but go ahead and grab a couple index cards and a pen. And we're just going to play a little game. Just a little game. It's going to be quick. So I want you to take a deep breath and close your eyes for a moment. And think about yourself as a child. All right? Just kind of get a picture in your mind of where you are as a child. And on that first index card, I want you to write down what the first memory that comes to mind when I say, when was the time that you were really proud of yourself as a kid? Write it down. Don't sort through all your memories. What's the first one that comes to mind? Don't try to find the perfect one. Just a time when you were proud of yourself. I have a confession to make. I was at a women's conference, kind of very similar to this, a couple of years ago. And the woman asked this question. I was a total blank. I couldn't come up with a single reason. I didn't have a single memory of myself being proud of myself. I had been one of those that, when I was growing up, I was always compared to my brother. My brother was perfect. My brother he was smarter than me. He was the male. I was the girl. Everything my parents did, they poured into him. And I was just that second child. I was ignored. The reality is, I could have done anything, and they never would have even noticed. Now, I'm moving along life just fine. But when she asked that question, think of yourself as a kid and what are you proud of? I had nothing. I was blank. I was like, I'm sure there's something. It's like you sit there and go, I'm sure I was proud of something. It took me probably a good 20 minutes to come up with something, right? And so I think about Ellie. I'm like going, oh my gosh, Ellie doesn't feel proud of herself. Even though there's great accomplishments, she's not feeling proud. And I wasn't either. But now on the second index card, again, I want you to close your eyes and think of yourself as a child. But I want you to write down the first memory that comes up when I say, when was the time that someone hurt your feelings or you were disappointed when you were a child? Now, I've got to say, a lot of you wrote down a lot faster. Isn't it interesting that those memories are much higher up? You can access those bad memories much easier than you can those good ones. And that's really just what you have allowed to be programmed in there. Okay? You haven't focused on those good ones. But I bet every single time that you were hurt, every single time someone said something to you that hurt your feelings, everything that you were disappointed, you replayed that over and over and over and over and over and over, right? Those grooves on that record are deep. When you were cheered for something, you go, oh yay! And then the next day something took you back down and you didn't replay it. What you've got to get to is when you got those, when you're proud of yourself moments, you've got to replay those 10 times more than those disappointments. You've got to go over them. All right, so we're going to do a quick little exercise. Choose a partner. You can kind of pair off into twos here. Go ahead. Got an odd number, but that's okay. We'll use that. There you go. All right, and so what you're going to do is each of you have your proud moment, right? You're going to tell the other person about your proud moment, and you are going to describe what that was with just as much enthusiasm and excitement, and you got to really get the feeling, right? Really put yourself back when you were 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, whatever it was. Like, how did you really feel? And explain to the other person, like, what it was that made that so awesome. Go.
And got on stage.
Sesame chicken. Chicken mixed I tried out and I didn't get it. Orange chicken. I don't even know why I tried I barely did it, but I they put them in there. Wait.
Does anyone order orange chicken? All right, so what did you guys think of that? Did you both get to express your excitement? Okay. Then what you try to do is take your disappointment. See if you can describe it in the exact same tone of voice and with the same excitement, and tell them about your disappointment. It's harder to do. I'll tell you, it's harder to do. So go ahead.
Not necessarily. I think that probably is going to go really.
Okay, you ordered. All right, you guys, did you find that was easier or harder to do? It was a little unnatural because you're not used to talking about your disappointments in an enthusiastic way. But that's one of the ways that you can kind of negate the emotion that's attached to those negatives. Is you need to change your emotional attachment to that negative whatever. So what you need to do is you need to look at it and say, find the positive in it. You know, that everything is a lesson. Everything is what you really need to do is kind of turn your mindset around, and all those negatives that you've been, it's so bad. No, you know what? There's a lesson in it, and you got to really look for the positive in it. What I'm going to ask you to do when you get home is kind of go back through that negative memory and just kind of say it to yourself, and then just kind of forgive yourself for holding on to that memory, and just really just say, you know what, this doesn't serve me anymore. I don't want to feel this anymore. I don't even want to remember this anymore. The only thing I want to remember is maybe the lesson I learned from it, and let it go. And you may have to do that, because remember, that groove is deep. Because you've gone over and over and over in the negative way for a long time. What you now want to do is you want to fill in that gap, right? So go ahead. This is an exercise that you can do at home over the next couple weeks. And just real quick, I'm going to give you 3 steps to emotional mastery. First is you've got to identify your emotions, right? You've got to actually know what you feel. There's a lot of people going through life that either they don't know when they're having an emotion. And some people suppress their emotions so much that they just really don't feel. You've got to get to a point where you're actually feeling, and you're actually identifying what you feel. There's a lot of times you have emotions, but then you suppress it so quick, you don't know why, you don't know what you just felt. And some of you don't know the difference between anger or disappointment or frustration or even happiness, joy, but you don't know because you're not really experiencing it. The minute you feel it, you go, I shouldn't feel that, and you're letting it go. You got to really step in and actually feel your emotions. So first of all, you got to identify them. And then second, you got to understand that emotions are really no more than your mind saying, hey, this is important, pay attention. Right? They're just warning signs. They're just trying to get your attention. That's the whole purpose of emotions, is to kind of wake you up and get you to notice something. And so when you are kind of refusing to acknowledge your emotions, really refusing to experience your emotions, it's okay to cry, right? It's okay to laugh. It is okay to experience emotions. Emotions are not bad, but we've been told so many times in our lives that showing emotion is bad, and so we stop. Don't want to do that. And then you really want to, again, go on that self-discovery. Why do you feel like you feel? Because sometimes you'll get down to, you know what, I feel that way because my dad told me X when I was 4. And you can go, you know what, I'm not going to react that way anymore. You get to choose how you react to things. And a lot of your programming is other people choosing how you react to things. But you've got to take control of that and move on. So, because your bad life is probably just in your head, you probably don't have a bad life. But those thoughts in your head could be making you think that. And we just need to move that up. So, that's it for me. Good job. Okay, so before Pooja gets up here,